Adults are not the only ones who frequently complain of chest pains. Kids do too, and they're often rushed to the ER by worried parents. Well, joining us now with more is Dr. Katy Stordahl from Children's Hospital. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So it's not something a lot of us think about. Do you see chest pains in children a lot?
We do. It's not certainly as common as we would see in the adult world, but we see it in children, and we have seen an uptick in chest pains since the COVID pandemic began. I think probably because parents are just more aware of their children's health and thinking about it so much that things that they might have brushed aside in the past, they want to have seen and checked out now, which is always a good thing.
It is, and anything different, we are noticing that for sure. What are some of the different kinds of chest pain or signs that it's happening?
So thankfully, usually when we see children with chest pain, it's not actually cardiac or heart-based in nature. It's more often to be something going on with their chest wall where they have a pulled muscle or muscle inflammation called costochondritis, or something that's lung-based, such as a pneumonia, an asthma exacerbation, or a viral bronchiolitis or bronchitis. Now, having said that, you always have to determine with kids, is it more in their abdomen? Because we see an awful lot of acid reflux or abdominal complaints that kids will come in and say that it's chest pain. So you kind of have to go through a physical examination and some lab work and some testing to really determine what's going on with
That's where they're
little
feeling
ones.
the pressure. Okay, that makes sense. So some of the common causes you've just outlined for us. So chest pain is not always serious, but it can be.
It certainly can be, and certainly in any child who has a history of congenital heart disease, chest pain can be very concerning, or any child who has had a type of cardiac catheterization, a stent, or a procedure or a surgery, they need to be seen right away. And now that we are in the COVID pandemic, it's also important that we see kids with chest pain who may have previously had COVID. We want to do screening tests on them to make sure that they don't have a viral myocarditis. So if they have chest pain or their shortness of breath or feeling heaviness on their chests, those children need to be seen right away as well.
Oh, absolutely. That can be scary, but as long as you get them to the doctor, and that's when you need to rush them to the doctor, yes?
Well, I don't know that you need to call 911 kind of rush, but you absolutely need to either talk to your pediatrician who says it's okay to wait till tomorrow or go to the ER, or you need to come straight to an urgent care or the ER. It's not something that needs to be put off.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Stordahl. And if you have a question about your child's health you'd like for us to get answered, email me at ltucker@wate.com. Tune in to Channel 6 every Thursday right here at 4 to see if we answer your question on the air.